ń sọ pé public kí ni ìtumọ̀ méjèèjì nígbà tó kà ń fi eku parí àwọn kan ni. Ìkọ́sọ́ ni ká mọ̀ pé orí tó náà lè fi pẹ̀lú pé wá sí ayé kò sí ká tó yàtọ̀. Ìkọ́sọ́ bá ti pé ìgbẹ́ ẹ̀gbẹ́ tó ti máa bẹ́ẹ̀ pé èmi ò máa kọjá pé ká máa sọ pé wáyà ọmọ kan ṣètò ìkan lọ. Mi ò mọ irú ẹ̀ kí ni Ọlọ́run sọ fún wa kí ni Ọlọ́run sọ pé ká ṣe pẹ̀lú. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn èèyàn wa bọ́yá tó ní pé ọ̀rọ̀ mẹ́ta bí omi ta wà lórí gbogbo ọkàn wọn yẹn ó wáyé ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú pìwàdà. Ọlọ́run tó fún wa lọ́mọ bí ó máa bá ní tọ́jú ẹ̀. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ máa gbogbo wa. Ọlọ́run àdúgbò ní jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọ wa. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọ̀gá ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Èyí tó dàbí pé àwọn òbí kan bá wá látẹ̀sẹ̀ máa sọ pé ní ìdẹ̀mọ́ o ní ìdẹ̀mọ́ o lórúkọ Jésù náà ó jèrè àwọn ọmọ wa. Mo dúpẹ́ fún ẹ̀ mo dúpẹ́ fún nǹkan tí wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀ yìí. Because mo rí pé láti ṣe pé kí àwọn òbí lè jíra ká lè gbéra sókè láti ṣe mọ àwọn ọ̀tọ̀ yẹn ká ṣe ni.
Ọlọ́run kì í ṣàkóso ẹgbẹ́ pé ọmọ ẹ̀yà ọkùnrin ní kẹ́kẹ́ máa ṣiṣẹ́ ọmọ tí ò pé tí kò sí ìlú bí ká máa fi wọ́n sí gbà ẹjọ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ là ń bẹ̀. And as we are saying, we want you to be our champions, we want you to be our voice, we want you to be the voice for these children. The children are crying out. Somebody should stand for them. If we're not going to take care of them, then don't have them. There's birth control, whether you're a Muslim, Ifa worshiper, or Christian. Go and seal that place up. Yes. If we're saying there's improperty, there's banditry, there's this, you know, ọmọ tó ti lọ yunifásitì tó níṣẹ́ gidi lọ́wọ́ ṣọ́ máa lọ gbébọn lójú títì ṣọ́mọ tí níwà lójú títì tó gbébọn àwọn tí ò kàwé yìí ló máa dàbí àwọn tó ti kàwé. And how many people will run away? How many people will go to Libya? How many people will go to USA? How many people will go to Canada? How many people will go? So this is our country. People went to public schools when I was going to school. I know most of us here went to public schools. And we are appealing to our
what we are saying, ó ti máa dínkù tàbí kó lé. Tó bá dẹ̀ ti dínkù, the standard of education is still okay, but the quality is bad. Quality yẹn ni kẹ̀jẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí. Private school are having problem. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká wò pé kìnìkan. Just every time ọmọ yẹn máa gẹ fọ́ọ̀mù tó bìnrin wá fábí. Primary school. And when you call the parent, that is what I want. You don't want the children to go away. You lower your own standard. And while you are on your feet, the school beside you, to hear, what do you want other people that have that standard of quality to do? So, apart from gathering head teachers, our parents together, I think the program should go to schools. And even when to schools, I've gone to schools with the Ministry of Education. The principal cannot allow you to talk to those children until you go to all these protocols. The protocols are too many, and people that have something to say are keeping quiet. And at the end of the day, like we said, in 30 years' time, our people are carried at the 70, 80. And the children, I cry for the next generation. So we should do our own part, please. It's beyond money in private school or whatever. They are not talking. If you have your children in your private school, please go there and search. Ask what is going on with your children. Proprietors are molesting children. Teachers are doing so. It's not only men, no, women. A teacher just owed pennies of a boy. She was talking and was telling that boy, your feeding bottle is sweet. Yes, your feeding bottle is sweet. And when the child got home, the mother was about to beat the child. She said, Mommy, don't touch my feeding bottle. What is your feeding bottle? Where's your feeding bottle? The child now touched pennies. Women are molesting children, men are molesting. And our curriculum says, we want people that can develop curriculum. It's not this curriculum. Today you have one, tomorrow they will change it. Like now, private schools, you'll be current, but public schools, I will say 100%. They are not using the new curriculum, the newest one. So how the education should pay, that only the same thing should pay go round. Like now, I'm stop at my new stadium. Once you want the curriculum 19th century, private school are using 21st century. How do we want to harmonize all these things? Please, we need more.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, 1 minute for the last question. 1 minute. The representative of the commissioner from the Ministry of Education is there. After our tea break, that's the last person, Mr. Senator. 1 minute, ma'am. Please send your narrative for us. We appreciate everything. I got digress. You know, so that but motion will be the commission. Well, you know why it comes to bed? So schools will not allow us to don't bring a letter from school. So please, ma'am, all these things are things. We are ready to visit all the schools. So give it that permission to talk. I was just telling my colleagues here, one of the things that led me to even start looking this 4-year-old starting themselves on 2 solid years. I don't know. Any so much. Praise the Lord.
the big, we appreciate God for this type of program. Then we appreciate the organization through project for buying power TOP and she will not so I do for this. Check your performance or ye number one, open story or not has to do spiritual aspect, physical aspect and so, but still as well include spiritual aspect. Ilé mi ìtọ́nà mi ti jáde number one. Obi ní àti jìnnà ní ìdájí lágbo mẹ́rin. Kò mọ bí tọ́mọ ẹ̀sùn mojú. Fàtí jìnnà tó bá jí yóò kì í kó fi lọ kó lè rówó lọ sí. So you like see so many parents on the kò sáàdúrà school gan sí láti lọ́wọ́ àti ọgbọ́n wá ti yọ money devotion tó yẹ tí ó lè lè kó ibẹ̀. Ọmọ tó ní gbogbo kìlọ̀ tí ìyàwó bàbá tó kúrò lé ọmọ yẹn ní tíwá àdúgbò lè sùn. Irú ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tó wáyé pé ọkùnrin ló ti ṣe ìrẹ̀ láti kékeré ẹ̀. Ibi láti primary school ọmọ 3 years 17 years tó wà primary school. Ọkùnrin ti ṣe ìyẹn ọ̀kan. Ilé ilé mi tún ti sọ pé ó ní the spiritual aspect ni pé ẹwọ́n ló wọ́n ti dá ní ìsọ̀rẹ́ ọmọ tó ti fi ọ̀kẹ́rẹ́ tó ti fi dá tó ti fi àlùkò ti pa àlè ní ọmọ yẹn láti kékeré ẹ̀ ẹwọ́n ọdún lọ́nà tó ti sílẹ̀ nínú irú ìyẹ́ bàbá kankan ló bí wọn lẹ́sùn wọ́n ní nǹkan gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ òde nínú wọn ta ló wọ irú iṣẹ́ tí òbí yẹn lọ ṣe ó ti bí ọmọ mẹ́sàn-án gbogbo wa là ń gbàdúrà jẹ́ kí ọmọ mi ó jèrè mi iṣẹ́ tí mò ń ṣe jẹ́ kí ọmọ mi ó lè ṣe wẹ̀ èmi ní òbí tó jẹ́ pé tíjà mọ̀ wọ́n nínú àwọn ọdún bí wọ́n ní tíjà mọ̀ wọ́n nínú òbí yẹn máa dùn tó lẹ́yìn ìlú bàbá yẹn lè máa sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó wà ọmọ mẹ́sàn-án òbí ìfọ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ yà olè ẹbí tí ìjọba ti wò ó náà yà olè láti ṣiṣẹ́ olè dání. tó o lè sọ fún mi pé àwa tíjà àti tíjà àti olùkọ́ we have a lot to do with especially teachers. Tàbá dé ní àtàwọn ọmọ irú ìgbésẹ̀ kò máa gbé. Láti ẹ̀ lọ tún fi ẹ̀wò láti ìpìlẹ̀ tún máa lè ràn lọ́wọ́ láti máa pè fún. Ìjọba náà máa sọ pé ìwọ àìmọ̀tò ayé ẹ̀ ti bàjẹ́. Ó lè tó ọmọ ìjà kẹ́yìn ayé ẹ̀ yẹn. Olórí ìwọ ìní kan. Ó láti gba iṣẹ́ yìí. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀yìn iṣẹ́ táwọn olùkọ́ ń ṣe o. Iṣẹ́ yìí rere òun la fẹ́ ṣe. Lóòótọ́ òkùnkùn àtìmọ́lẹ̀ wọn ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ìmọ́lẹ̀ ó gbọdọ̀ bóyó abẹ́rù sí. Fún ọlọ́run àárọ̀ wà lọ́wọ́, ọlọ́run àkóra pàápàá. Èyí tó ti dàbí ẹni pé èèyàn lọ fi ọmọ sọ́dọ̀ girama ẹjọ́ máa ẹjọ́ sà. Kò sí ìtọ́jú báyìí ní èèyàn fọmọ sọ́dọ̀ girama. Lọ́wọ́ tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹni tó fi ọmọ sọ́dọ̀ girama òun gan máa tọ̀, òun gan wúlò. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká dáa jẹ́ fọmọ wa dáa jẹ́ kí girama wa gan ó dáa. Wọ́n fi wúyàn láti fọmọ sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀. Tí kì í sọmọ pé no tí ò bá kiri kò ní jẹun. Ọmọ tí wọ́n á rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ní girama lọ sí títí náà tó bá rí ó máa dùn. Ó wà dáadáa bẹ́ẹ̀. So ọlọ́run àrùn.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So we'll be going for our tea break now. And I just need to mention to us that in as much as parents, teachers are being trained, we are also training children for them to know their rights and then on what to do. But ẹ mọ̀ wípé àlè ló manual kan náà fún àti àwa òbí àti àwọn ọmọ a dẹ̀ ń lọ láti school dé school ni. So àwọn school tá a bá ti dé a máa ti rí àwọn nǹkan tá a fún àwọn ọmọ wa lọ́wọ́ wọn. So a ti ń lọ káàkiri láti school láti kọ́ àwọn ọmọ náà. So ní báyìí a máa lọ fún break ráńpẹ́. We'll wait for a short break and we'll be having our tea break for 10 minutes. So we would like us to go table by table from the back. We have a restroom downstairs if there is need for us to use the restroom. The restroom is downstairs. So we can follow the guide of one of our team members at the back there, directing us on what to do.
àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní discuss àwọn nǹkan tí ìkẹ́kìtì àwọn nǹkan tá a máa discuss nìyẹn. Tábà ti wà ní group yẹn kíákíákíá because we are only spending 5 minutes. We are going to find out one thing we have in common. This group here, each group is going to find one thing they have in common. Kí ni àwọn nǹkan tá a ti jọra wa? Ṣó ti yọ? Àwa márùn-ún tá a wà ní group yẹn, à á wo àwọn nǹkan kan tó tá a fi jọra wa. Bóyá orúkọ wa ló papọ̀ ní o, bóyá aláìkó oúnjẹ kan náà ní o, bóyá àwọn kọ́kọ́ tá à ń ṣe tá a fi jọra wa. Ṣé àwọn pé bàtà bá ṣe yẹn, à á lè mọra wa. Nígbà tẹ́mi bá sọ wípé mo láìpì iyán àti ọbẹ̀ ẹ̀gúsí, èyí náà èyí náà láìpẹ́ o. So tá a ṣe yẹn. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ẹ jẹ́ ká mú nọ́mbà 1, 2, 3, 4. Ẹ ti fún wa nọ́mbà. Àwọn nọ́mbà 1 dà. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ní nọ́mbà 1 ní ọwọ́ sókè. Ẹ̀yin lè máa wà ní group number 1 ló yá. Síbi kan náà wọ́n máa group together. Ìyẹn náà la ṣe máa ṣe because àfẹ́ àwọn tó wá láti group náà tó ti mọ́ra wọn. Àfẹ́ àwọn ọ̀rẹ́kọ̀rẹ́ ni àbí. Tó fẹ́ mọ́ra wa, èyí fẹ́ mọ̀ ní, mo fẹ́ mọ̀ ní wọ́n kí o fi. Tó àti bá rí títí ìjọ mi, kí n máa sọ pé àìsàn. Afẹ́fẹ́ yìí lórúkọ. Èèyàn kan nínú much. I think you have one thing in common. Let's give them a beautiful never clap. When I say never clap, you never have
Next, okay, Mariam Gadba from Group 3A. We realize that our names we are from different. We have different names, but one thing that connects us is the fact that we're able to come to a conclusion that parents should give equal upbringing to the kid, regardless of the genders they have, because we realize that èyí tẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ yẹn àbí tẹ́ neglect yẹn òun ló máa báyé ẹ̀tọ́ jẹ́ in the future.
Thank you.
The neglected one. Thank you. That's our submission.
Thank you very much. We are going to give them another never clap.
Thank you.
I'm Adewale Solomon from St. Stephen, Alegogo. Group 5B. Nǹkan tí ó kọ́mọ̀ tí ó jẹ́ nǹkan tó papọ̀ ní pé àmàlà àti gbẹ̀gìrì.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni sir.
Tí náà ni pé Ọ̀yọ́ State.
Thank you very much. One never clap.
Alájẹ Ọláníyì lórúkọ mi tí mo represent Group 3B. N tó pa wá pọ̀, a rí i pé oúnjẹ kan náà ni àwa márààrún tó wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àmàlà àti ewédú ni. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì dájú rẹ̀ ni pé gbogbo wa la nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí iṣẹ́ ìdàgbàsókè àgbègbè wa.
That's good. Ẹ kọ́ lẹ́bà mẹ́ta.
Orúkọ mi ni ìyálé abilékọ Arólóró. Mo wá láti Group. Gbogbo wa la láti.
I am Mrs. Williams, Rachel Omanola. I'm from IDC Akobo, Ibadan. Yeah, I'm from 5. What common among our group is that we are one in God. Because with God, all things are possible. Then we are teachers. We are all facts.
ṣe PTA mo ti mọ àwọn chairman PTA kan tó wà ní báyìí so ẹ bá wa sọ fún wọn nǹkan tá a sọ ẹ sì bá wa kọ́ wọn nípa driver gbogbo mọ́tò àti NEPA. Now while we are waiting to go to the second module, we would like to invite Mrs. Bolaji, the representative of the Commissioner for Education, Barrister Olamide. Please, can we sit with that so that the pictures will show? NAF's representative, women representative, LIA representative, people man show for commissioner about one so
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me appreciate God Almighty for bringing this program to us in Oyo State. I'd like to appreciate the organizers of the program, the Youth Care Development and Empower Initiative. Sincerely, you are doing a great job. I know that the good Lord will reward you at the fullness of time. I would like to appreciate the various representatives of organizations that are present here. I'm sorry I don't have the list. Our teachers and our parents. I want to thank God that our parents can be here today. It's because we have a role to play in the lives of our children. We believe that our children are important to us, and this program is such that will help us more, even in taking care of our children. And so I want to appreciate you all, that you have not said that your businesses are more important than what we are doing here today. That is, at least those of us from the Yoruba roots, we always say everything we do, we are doing it because of our children. But it is a pity that today it's like we have misplaced priorities in our society. In the past, I remember our parents would do everything possible to ensure that we are well taken care of, whether at home or in our schools. But today, you see, we don't really know what has gone wrong. Even when you invite parents to come to schools, whether for PTA meetings or for one thing or the other that pertains to their children, they give excuses. It's either they say they are not available, or there's no money. One thing or the other will keep them away from attending such meetings. For those of us who are here today, it's because we believe that we are going to gain a lot from here, and also because we have something to offer the larger society. And I want to implore all of us that after we have concluded this program today, and we go back to either our schools, our homes, our churches, our mosques, wherever, various associations that we belong, please let us educate those around us. Let us spread the gospel. If those of us here who are present here today will go home and educate 1, 2, 3 families, you can be sure that our society will not remain the same. I want to let us know that it is the duty of all stakeholders, whether we are teachers, we are government agents, we are parents, whatever we are, various associations, it is our duty to see to it that school-related gender-based violence is eradicated in our schools. Well, we have limited it to schools, gender violence in schools. But it doesn't take place only in schools. We have even those outside schools that are involved in this thing. But we have to go back to the larger society to preach the gospel, to say no to school-related gender-based violence, to say no to sexual abuse in our societies. It is appalling. It is sad to hear when you hear so many things that happen. Even teachers that are supposed to be parents to those children when they are in school, they are the ones that are molesting these children. It is so sad. Teachers that have been saddled with the responsibility of bringing up these ones, educating them, molding their lives, they are the ones that are agents of destruction. Please, if we have any of us, I want to believe that there is none like that here. But it is possible that we have been doing it in some subtle ways, little ways. Please let us desist from it from today. We have our own children, and we are praying for our children. So the ones that are brought to us, that are left in our care, please let us ensure that we take good care of them and we mold their lives so that they will be useful citizens in the future. I have listened to so many contributions that you have made this morning, and I just want to say that at the Ministry of Women Affairs, we have a response team to SRG BV. There's a response team there. If we come across victims or we have heard of such cases, we have them in our hands, we can go to the Ministry of Women Affairs. There's a unit that is saddled with that responsibility. We can lodge our complaints. We can even offer advice. We can even, maybe we know of some places where these things happen. We can tell them, and they will visit such places. But the issue is that many times, we keep these things to ourselves. The stigma, and so on and so forth. It is better we cry out so that we can receive adequate help. Our teachers again, some of us are counselors in schools. In fact, the fact that you are a mother or you are a father and you find yourself teaching in the school, you should be a counselor. You should be a life builder, a life molder. So let us not just fold our arms. I know we are doing a lot, but we must not relent. We must not be tired. And we must not say we are not concerned. Our own children too will go places, and they will mix with all these other ones that we are talking about. So let us see it as our primary assignment, our major responsibility to mold the lives of these children. The Honorable Commissioner would have loved to be here because he's very passionate when it comes to children and education. But of course, for some other assignments, and so he has asked me to represent him. And he has just sent us a brief message, which I will go through. A goodwill message of the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Barrister Olasukomi Olaleye, at the training of teachers, parents, and religious leaders on Lend a Voice project in relation to gender-based violence in 6 primary schools within Ibadan, held at Rio Event Center, Ashi Ibadan, between Thursday and Friday, 25th to 26th February 2021. Once again, I recognize our dignitaries on this side and even those of you at the other end. It gives me great pleasure to speak at this very important occasion of the training of teachers, parents, and religious leaders on Lend a Voice project of school-related gender-based violence that is gradually on the increase, not even only in our primary schools, but also at the secondary and tertiary levels of education. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say at this juncture that it requires a collaborative effort of all of us to stop these underreported cases of school-related gender-based violence and bridging the gaps between students and school-related gender-based violence. A training of this nature is all important, especially at this period in our state. Let me once again state that school-related gender-based violence is an act or practice of sexual, physical, or even psychological violence happening in and around our schools, perpetrated because of gender norms and stereotypes, and enforced by equal power dynamics, which occur mainly among children less than 18 years of age. School-related gender-based violence violates children's fundamental human rights, and it is a form of gender discrimination. It also affects school performance and can lead to school dropouts, especially when the school environment is not perceived as safe for learners. All hands must be on deck in ensuring that school-related gender-based violence is addressed by stakeholders in order to totally cover the menace or even eradicate it. Parents and guardians must adequately find time to relate with their children and words. From time to time, find out what is going on in their children's schools, attend Parents-Teachers Association meetings, open day, and every other statutory meeting at their children's schools. Professional school counselors should rise up to their responsibilities in making sure that they inform their students on various forms of the SRGAV, how it can be reported, and how survivors can receive psychosocial support that will prove to them that they are not alone or neglected by the school. It is rather sad that in this age, the fear of putting one's words in the hands of caregivers is on the increase. Religious institutions and leaders should wake up from their slumber by addressing issues of school-related gender-based violence and sexual gender-based violence through seminars and programs that will positively expose these children to dangers of both the SRGBV and SGBV. By so doing, school-related gender-based violence and other social vices will have no place to hide in our schools and in the society. The ugly reoccurrence of it will be reduced drastically, not only in our schools, but also within the society at large. My good people, You are highly welcome to this all-inclusive and all-encompassing training session that is set to address pertinent issues relating to school-based gender violence and a step forward towards addressing these limits. I thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We'll move straight to the next item on our agenda, and that's the training, the module 2, and it is on Child's Rights Act. So afẹ́gbọ́ ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lórí ẹ̀tọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa, so that a bá mọ̀ wọ́n máa lè ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ láti mọ àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí. Right now, I want to call on Mr. Simeon. Okay, 1 minute.
Sorry, just because our mommy here, she will soon be leaving, we would like to present this to the Ministry of Education on behalf of Good Care. We have the manuals for the children and for the teachers here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So I want to call on our next facilitator in person of Mr. Simeon Bowe to come and train us on child's rights.
We can welcome the dignitaries. They move to the lower table. Thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, I want to appreciate the organizers for this wonderful gathering. Like I told you, I said, it is a pity that this kind of intervention is taking place in Ibadan first. Your state. Because naturally, good things like this start from Lagos. Yes, go to history. Go to history. Well, you have invited me from Lagos, and I said, I'm commending. I said, honestly, you are indeed a best. And in no distant time, like I've told her, this will be replicated massively in Lagos. You can underline massively in Lagos. This will be replicated massively in Lagos. I've told her very soon. So I'm going to be the ambassador in Lagos. Yes, I am going to. I may not be civil. I may not be officials. I may treat you, both parents, teachers, as I don't want to know your status. But what is important is, we have been discussing this morning. Many of us don't know that there are laws. There are laws guiding the operation, your operation as a father. There are laws that are guiding your operation as a teacher. Because I had some mommy say, she buy your money at Ogonokiri. Oh, feel prohibit there. Since 2004, if you look at the UB Act of 2004, it's there clearly said that they should be arrested and prosecuted. They do it in Lagos. I don't know where else. If they find any child hawking in the morning, they will arrest the boy or the girl and take it home. It's happening live in Lagos. So I wonder why it's not taking place in Ibadan. In fact, I'm surprised that people are saying, "What you can hawk in the evening." I did when I was growing. After 2 o'clock, we go to farm. But in the morning, my father, who was not that educated, would not allow you to farm in the morning, except Saturdays. So it is a law. I don't know why it's not operational. So we're going to look at the rights. When we talk about Child Rights Act, when the word act is mentioned, it means it is legislated by senators and federal reps. But when we say child rights law, it is legislated by the House of Assembly. Take note of that. So it is not of the 36 states. Maybe it's an assignment for you. You are going to Google how many states in Nigeria have legislated it. You have to check it on your state first. I know Lagos. Lagos is or was the first state in Nigeria in 2007 to domesticate that Child Rights Act. I don't know for your state. Dr. Additional will tell me when your state did that. Madam, you are going to tell me where your state did that. I take note of that. When the mention of Child Rights Act, you are referring to federal. Don't say federal law. It is done by legislature and federal rep. When it is law, it is. So we are going to look at. I brought Lagos State because I have some people to donate to this organization. The entire law as bulky. I printed. I was there. Lagos State. I printed. Then to 3 or 4 individuals as the representative, I'm going to give you a document. That document as licensed several years ago, but people have not been implementing that children in the primary and secondary school should be running their affairs. How many of us are aware of that? Primary school and secondary school, we do it in Lagos. They are to run their affairs. You just monitor affairs of their operations. Okay. Nǹkan tí a ń sọ ní àárọ̀ ìbọ̀sán láti ẹ̀wà yìí ni pé a ti ń sọ ọ̀rọ̀ látàárọ̀ pé kí ni màmá àti bàbá fẹ́ jẹ tí ọmọ ò bá kiri ní àárọ̀. Àwa ń sọ pé òfin yẹn ti wà tipẹ́tipẹ́ nínú bí a ṣe mọ̀ ń bí. Òbí tí a bá mú ọmọ rẹ̀ tó kiri láàárọ̀ ní Èkó, a ó mú ọmọ, a ó mú màmá, a ó mú bàbá, a ó tì wọ́n mọ́lé. Ṣebí wọ́n fẹ́ jẹun ni wọ́n á máa jẹun ní station. A kò sọ pé kí ọmọ má kiri kó má ràn bàbá bọ́ ẹjẹ́ kó jáde iléèwé. Òfin ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ láti 2014. Àwa sọ pé if you look up Child Rights Act, tí a bá ti dárúkọ act, òfin ìjọba federal ní bàbá. Kọ̀ọ̀dá wa ti sọ pé law, òfin ìpínlẹ̀ state. Àwò 40 minutes náà fún mi. Àwò dáadáa ní kọ̀ọ̀kan. Next slide please. Oh. 25 states. Thank you, sir. Orúkọ mi ni Bẹ́ẹ̀ni Sunday Fowówẹ̀ Sunday Senior, ọmọkùnrin ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí ò lórúkọ Yorùbá. Èmi ni àkọ́kọ́ tí ẹ̀mí àkọ́kọ́ rí tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá tí ò lórúkọ Yorùbá. Ní orúkọ tó kí ló fà á máa bí òbí mi àti bàbá mi ó ti lọ sọ́run. Mi ò gbọ́n gbà yẹn ni. Orúkọ mi kọ́ ni Fowówẹ̀, mi kọ́ ló jẹ́ fún mi. Fáà mi ìmọ̀ ẹni tó jẹ́ Fowówẹ̀. It's part of the mistake we make. It is my name is Sunday Senior, not Fowówẹ̀. It is my grandfather's name that is Fowówẹ̀. That's the mistake we are making. But that is not why we are here. Garuba, orúkọ ẹ̀ ò ṣe Garuba ti bàbá yẹn. Gbogbo àtàbá ní email, tá ní Facebook, tá ní mo mọ̀ pé àwọn tí to organize bí ni mo send ẹ̀ sí yín. Next, let's look for 40 minutes fún mi o. But ẹ jáde. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹja dìde. All work and no play. We are going to welcome ourselves with this song. Ìmọ́tótó. Ìmọ́tótó. Ìmọ́tótó ilé. Ìmọ́tótó ara. Ìmọ́tótó oúnjẹ. Ká fọwọ́ ká bomú. Ìmọ́tótó tó lè. Agbọ́dọ̀ fi yẹn kú lásìkò tá a wà yìí. Ìmọ́tótó. Ìmọ́tótó ló lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn gbogbo. Ìmọ́tótó ilé, ìmọ́tótó ara, ìmọ́tótó oúnjẹ, ká fọwọ́ ká bomú. Ìmọ́tótó ló lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn. Ẹ jẹ́ kó díjú wa, tá a bá díjú wa ṣá lè kọ́. Tá a bá díjú wa ṣá lè kọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ kọ́. 1, 2, 3. Ìmọ́tótó ló lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn gbogbo. Ìmọ́tótó ló lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn. Àgbẹ̀ ń díjú wa náà. Ìmọ́tótó ilé. Ìmọ́tótó. If you have a Bible here, open your Bible to James chapter 3 verse 1. Teacher especially, James chapter 3 verse 1. Kewa ema kakin James version ye mind. James chapter 3 verse 1. Teacher ló máa kà á, ẹ má dẹ̀ ka King James version. Ẹ ó yí padà láti lọ. Ẹ rí ká. Ẹ tó bá gbọ́ your phone. Okay, ẹ fẹ́ ka Yorùbá.
Ará mi, ẹ má ṣe jẹ́ olùkọ́ni púpọ̀ kí ẹ̀yin tó mọ̀ pé àwa ni yóò jẹ̀bi jù.
Ẹ bá tún kà.
Ẹ̀yin ará mi, ẹ má ṣe jẹ́ olùkọ́ni púpọ̀ kí ẹ̀yin tó mọ̀ pé àwa ni yóò jẹ̀bi jù.
Ẹ kọ́ ní ìṣẹ́gun. Okay, let me summarize quickly. Be willing to join the teaching profession. Yes, because teachers will be judged strictly in heaven. So that is why teaching job is almost a dangerous job. Don't say because of frustration, because of there's no job, you join teaching profession. Next slide, please. Yes, there are some reflective questions we have to. What is your perception about the level of knowledge of primary school pupils towards their rights? Ejo, is on your mind. Kí ni àwa tá a jókòó níbí àwọn òbí àwọn olùkọ́? Ẹjọ́ ǹjẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn ọmọ tó wà ní abẹ́ wa níléèwé wa wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́? Ẹja náwó ká sọ̀rọ̀ ká dẹ̀ sọ èèyàn kan tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ lẹ́tọ̀ọ́. Ẹ ṣe.
We have so many rights. Right to survival, right to development, right to participation, and right to protection.
Thank you very much. Ìgbà náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí á sọ pé tí ìlú tí ò sí òfin, ṣùgbọ́n òfin ti wà ti pẹ́ ìfà táwa ní ìdòjọ́ ìtíjì òfin ti wà mọ́ àmúlò. Àwọn ìyá sọ fún wa pé àwọn ọmọléèwé wọ́n ní they have many rights. Right to survival, number one. It is your responsibility to take care of the children that you have brought to this world. Ansọ́lẹ̀ kan Ọlọ́run ló ń bẹ́ ní wọmọ, ìfà àsọpéjù ló ń wọmọ. O gbọ́dọ̀ lè bí eléyìí tó mọ̀ kó lè tọ́. Àwọn ìyá wa sọ fún wa pé mi ò mọ ilé sọ Yorùbá. Lọ́tọ́ mi ṣe kílẹ̀ ló máa sọ. Wọ́n ní tó bá fẹ́ lè jù ká sílì abẹ́ wa. Mi ò mọ Yorùbá ẹ̀. Ká fi ètò sí ni. A ó bá ṣe jòkó sórí àga ẹ̀, a ó bára wa sọ̀rọ̀. A ó sọ in English, describe in the group the image of a typical African child. Don't be too enlightened. Don't prove too elitist here. Because many of us who prove that we are this outside, we are another thing at home. I've never spoken English in my home. And I will never. In fact, I'm going to church, nothing more people is saying. When we go, it is Ikesha. Yoruba, Ikesha, Yoruba. But for church, we have to speak English. So let's talk. Please speak. What is your perception? What is described in a group a typical African child? If you lost Nigeria, because a typical Oyo State child. Okay, a typical Oyo State child. Oya was a typical Lagos boy. Please let's talk. A typical Ibadan primary school boy or girl, who is he or she? Yeah, let's talk. ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ kí ni bàbá ní kẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ kan àbí méjì mẹ́ta nípa ọmọ iléèwé tó wà ní Ìbàdàn yìí kí ni a fẹ́ sọ. No, kí ni àkọ́kọ́ mọ̀ nípa àwọn akókò ẹ̀kọ́ ní méjì 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 tìbí. Ó gbọ́dọ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní àwọn ọmọ Ìbàdàn.
Facilitator.
Àwọn ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́.
Facilitator. And not everybody.
Please, ìgbọ́dọ̀ sọ ni pé máa ṣe jọ̀wọ́ dìde. Tí wọ́n bá fún yín ní àǹfààní láti sọ nǹkan àbí méjì nípa ilé-ìwé tó ń gbà ní Ọ̀yọ́ State kí la ó ní sọ. Ẹ bára yín sọ̀rọ̀, àwa pé ẹnìkan kó sọ gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ sọ. Bàbá, bàbá dá sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ẹ sọ fún màmá. Ìyá, máa sọ kí ni ẹ lò. Màmá ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ rèé. Ó yàtọ̀ sí Èkó. Ó dà, ta ni ó fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀? Ẹ jẹ́ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Àwùjọ yìí.
Ẹ ṣé o, èmi iṣẹ́ ọmọ Ìbàdàn náà, ọmọ ti fẹ́ náà Ìbàdàn, pẹ̀lọ́kìlẹ̀ àwọn tí mo bá jókòó. So wọ́n sọ wọ́n ní típíkà lọ́mọ Ìbàdàn. Àkọ́kọ́ ni pé wọ́n láìkì àṣà agboolé, wọ́n mọ̀ kó ní ẹ̀ pé agboolé wa, àṣà yẹn wà ń bẹ̀ bí àṣepọ̀. Then wọ́n wá ní wọ́n tún láìkì àṣà wọ́n lẹ́nu. Wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ dáadáa yẹn àti tó dáa àti tí ò dáa kán bèèbú kán ṣépè gbogbo kán kọ̀yà gbogbo nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ni pé wọ́n láìkì ẹ̀. Then wọ́n ní wọ́n láìkì nǹkan tó jọ mọ́ bóyá bí iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ ká kọ́ṣẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ lọ. So pé invariably gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ à ń tajà wọ̀nyí à ń kiri ó dàbẹ̀ ni pé ara àwọn kankan tí ó jẹyọ láti gbéyàn jẹ ọ̀rọ̀.
Àwọn ìyá wa mi orí ẹjọ́ ṣé ẹ bá wa sùn sí? Bẹ́ẹ̀ mi orí.
Mo wo kíní kan wọ́n ní the image of a typical African. Èmi dàbò pé
wọ́n change sí Ìbàdàn.
Wọ́n á pè ní ti Ìbàdàn, ọmọ Ìbàdàn lèmi náà nìyẹn. But at the same time, mi nípa àwọn nǹkan tó sọ yẹn.
Gbọ́ pápátá.
Wọ́n lè jàgbóró. Anyway, it depends on bringing. Now, mo fẹ́ ti fún mi wípé ọmọ Yorùbá gidi tó ti lè rè wá lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà, ó gbọ́dọ̀ ní ẹ̀kọ́ lé. Yàtọ̀ sí ẹ̀kọ́ lé, kì í ṣe wípé kí ọmọ jí láàárọ̀, kì í ṣe òyìnbó, tó wà fi tó ní good morning tó dẹ̀ lọ. Tó bá jẹ́ obìnrin ni ó gbọ́dọ̀ kúnlẹ̀. Tó bá jẹ́ ọkùnrin ni ó gbọ́dọ̀ dọ̀bálẹ̀. Bóyá fún ìyá tàbí bàbá tàbí fún àgbàlagbà nínú ilé. Yàtọ̀ sí ìyẹn, ọmọ tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá gidi, ó gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ wípé tó bá jí láàárọ̀, iṣẹ́ ilé ó di dandan. Kí ni àwọn iṣẹ́ ilé tí wọ́n lè ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọjọ́ orí wọn? Ọmọ Yorùbá gidi gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ pé ó yẹ kó ṣe. Iṣẹ́ yìí pé kí wọ́n máa wá fẹsẹ̀ dálẹ̀ títí sí tí gbogbo ọjọ́ òfin lọ́ta tó bá jẹ́ pé àsìkò tó yẹ kí wọ́n jẹun. Àwọn òbí náà wà ní ṣé ó ti jẹun, kì í ṣe báyìí àwọn. Ó yẹ kí wọ́n mọ̀ pé ẹ̀kọ́ ilé ó ṣe pàtàkì. Iṣẹ́ ilé ó ṣe pàtàkì, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ní ìwà ọmọlúwàbí lákòótán.
Ṣé fún ọkùnrin àti obìnrin ní iṣẹ́ ilé àbí kóbìnrin sáà máa ṣe lọ? Thank you very much. Because of our time, there's another poster there. Should children at this level be encouraged to report any violation of their right at police station? Yes. Ǹjẹ́ àwa sọ pé ọmọ primary 1 tí a fọwọ́ kan bí tí ò yẹ ká fi kàn? Ọmọ kékeré ìgbà àgbà wá níyànjú, àbáfẹ́ gbà wọ́n níyànjú pé kó lọ sí àgọ́ ọlọ́pàá láti lọ sọ. Ṣé wọn kéré rẹ̀? Wọn kéré rẹ̀. Ẹ fẹ́ dá ìbéèrè yẹn.
be able to answer this question well after our money wa méjì yẹn màá fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ fetí sílẹ̀ fún barista wa tó máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yìn tiwọn. Mo ti sọ fún yín pé lọ́ọ̀yà kan máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Unfortunately, Ministry Justice náà ti ṣiṣẹ́ sọ wọ́n ní kán lọ sí Abuja. So Abuja ló ti máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Ọlọ́run àtẹ̀jẹ̀ ká lè gbọ́ dáadáa. You know, because of this technology. But I would say that in your manual, you see case management there. Case management is a third module. In our culture, and I know that we're same culture, there's some things in the culture that we need to do away with. But case management, it is not really proper for the child to report to the police. If that is why you are our ambassadors and champions. And you remember Dr. Wafuwa Child Protection Network. Then Mommy Wala Ministry of Education and inactive. I'm a member of that. It's a committee set up by the Oyo State government. So we have places where you can report to. I'm just telling you what will happen. Why there is no one become woman? Why there is Jima it's one house. There is a pathway to reporting. Tó bá jẹ́ nínú ilé ló ti ṣẹlẹ̀, ẹ̀yin ẹ pè nọ́mbà tí wọ́n sọ yẹn. Tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè irú àwa báyìí. Tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè women affairs. Women affairs àwọn nọ́mbà níbí báyìí. Ó bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ ráńpẹ́. So gbogbo kìíní mo ti sọ fún yín. It's a collective responsibility. Ọmọ kékeré yẹn ò lè lọ sọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́pàá o. Kò ní lọ rárá. Ṣùgbọ́n a lè wá mú ẹni yẹn. Wọ́n wá fi sí tó bá ti ṣe àwádìí tó ti ṣe wá sọ fún wa. So please, ọmọ kékeré ò lè lọ bọ́lọ́pàá. Yẹn tó fẹ́ sọ. Ní school, why ta fi empower yín ni ẹ lè mọ̀ pé it is the right of the child to talk, and it's the right of the child to be protected. As teachers, it's your responsibility to protect the child. And you let my borrow again, let my wife saw Ministry of Women Affairs, our Ministry of Education, Child Protection Network, combine, don't share now. Am I a that shop? Ọmọ yẹn ò lè fẹ́ jọ́sùn. Thank you.
Ọmọ yẹn wọ́n ní kò tí ì ní ọgbọ́n tó tó láti tí polisi yẹn bá tẹ wà níbi tí express wà kọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n ní Èkó, each school has safeguarding and child protection officer. Each school in Lagos State and Lagos State can Oyo State can replicate. Nílé ìwé kọ̀ọ̀kan nílùú Èkó, private and public, and ní teacher kan tí wọ́n trust dáadáa níbi tó ní integrity tí ó wà ní in charge safeguarding and child, that's the name, safeguarding and child protection officer. So they report, it's a confidant. They report everything, and it's one that tells the head teacher, and the head teacher knows the appropriate thing. So Oyo State is not a tall order. Thank God our ministry, they are here. The commissioner and secretary are here. Please, you can replicate it. Another one, please, who is a child? But in this context, a child, in this context, that's primary school. Youth empowerment, hope I'm right. Child is any child below 18. So one ibi tí contextually speaking, ibi tí in this context, a child is a learner in primary school, primary primary school. Yes, up to 13, who is put in care of school authority and a teacher, and lives in a particular community that has significant adult and at least a leader. That's my definition of a child in this context. As somebody who look free, I should see me. May God take us there. where community leaders will be respected again, where community leaders will have interest of the community at heart. Baba wa gbàdúrà fún alẹ́ kan. Next. Whoa. The image of the child as it grows should be viewed in such a way that conscious effort to develop his intellect, morals, perceptions, and safety. Underline, safety should be the priority of both school and any significant adults. Bá a ṣe sọ pé kí gbogbo ọmọ kì í ṣe iṣẹ́ tá à ń sọ yìí kì í ṣe fún iléèwé nìkan o. Àgbààgbà, any significant adult. I didn't say any adult. Any significant what? Adult is the response. And because you are significant adults, that is why you gather here. And Madam Dr. Secretary told us that you are now ambassadors in your respective communities and your parastatals. Somebody, when we discussed in the morning, somebody said quality education. Did we bother to Google what is the meaning of quality education? We misinterpret the meaning of quality education. Who can tell us? Who can tell us the meaning of quality education? Ẹ̀kọ́ tó múnádóko tó yè kóró ẹjọ́ madam ẹ bá wa sọ ẹ̀kọ́ tó yè kóró.
Ẹ̀kọ́ tó yè kóró tó múnádóko. Ó ní ẹ̀kọ́ tó ní ẹ̀kọ́ ilé gidi. Ẹ̀kọ́ ilé. Ìyẹn ni wípé àwọn àṣà èyí tó wúlò fún àwùjọ wa tó lè gbé ọmọdé ibi tó ga. Ẹ̀kọ́ ilé nìyẹn. A sì tún fi ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Torí tí ọmọ bá ní ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run, ẹ̀kọ́ ilé yẹn á yé dáadáa, á mọ bó ṣe lè wà ní àwùjọ tàbí níbikíbi tí ó bá wà.
Thank you very much. We don't have much time. Fine. There is no answer that is wrong as far as I'm concerned. Quality education is an all-round education. All-round education given to a child, irrespective of religion, irrespective of the status of the parent, irrespective of sex. That is all-round development, both morals. If I just name it, when any school that gives that can stand tall and say, I am offering quality education. Let's go to the specifics. Let's go to the specifics. Okay, recently, let's look at that. Recently, this girl went to school at government secondary school with a gun. I hope you heard that. To shoot a teacher for telling her to cut a colored hair. Wonders can never secondary school. Okay, can we read? Okay, go because of our time. What are child's rights? Children all over the world have human rights, and they are known as children's rights. Maybe there are adult rights. You and I know that children have a weaker portion in the society by our culture and perception. Oh, I remember when my parents were training me, when they visitor pumping, my mother would give you a but now when I did it for my children, they say, why are you waking up? Why are you supposed to be visitor? But children have their, let's go. And the constitutional protection can only be guaranteed if they themselves know this. Please, it is not for you to know. It is for them to know. I have all my children are girls. To the glory of God, no regrets. for one day. And out of them, I have 2 opinions. No regret. I love them. No, it's costly. I read in the National Policy on Education, even the draft before it was complete, that any form of ability, that child in any examination to be given extra 1 hour. So I told Toby, every time you are writing an exam, tell the supervisor, let him be Professor Atela. Tell him page 26 of National Policy 2013. As so, he uses twice. During jam, please excuse me. Page 13 of 2013 says, they gave my daughter 1 hour extra. She knows her right, and I told her when you go to university, not for Professor Atela. So if you go page 26, nobody will give you at all. No, it's not enough for you to know the right. Let them know the right. Go. Be reminded that, look at, oh, let's do that. It's a beauty you can see. If all night, please, you will see one known Papa Patanisa. All night. One number, a Twitter. The student says she failed to submit agricultural science, not even maths and English. Look at it. That's her piece. You can Google now to know how many states in Nigeria have the children's rights. Let's try. Or do you have? 2006. Wow. Yes, Lagos did in 2003. Okay. Let's go. We are going to look at this right. Government and survival rights. Survival right and development, we are going to merge it together. He said, I brought it. I said, oh no, we are so. Let me give it to you. I'm donating it for you, but this is the entire right. I don't know, maybe I will go with the Lagos or your state. This is Lagos. And maybe you give me or your state. Give me. Now, survival rights, security, we do go round. But you can Google. You don't know you can Google. Though, there's one website, you have to pay 1,005. You must pay 1,005 before you even download. Yes. Yes. If you look at survival right, I will tell you it is your responsibility to ensure that children survive under your care. It is quite all right, but you must think twice. Why I'm not telling you to seal your thing, but I'm telling you that bring up children that you can take care of. Mo fẹ́ kí bí ó tẹ̀ ní jẹ́ pé mi bá wọn fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pé kẹ́ ẹ̀ka abẹ́mọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ kí á bí ọmọ tí a lè tọ́. Protection right. Protect children from abuse. Okay, let me start from survivor. Right include the right of life and needs that are most basic to existence. Article 5, 4, 6, 18, 20, they are there. Then protection right, protect children from abuse, neglect, exploitation. We call it even child abuse. When you, page 13, please go to page 13 of your manual. Page 13 of your manual, please. The essence of this, we will not be able to tell you everything, but it's there, it's captured in that. Please, let me read your Bible for now. Because I don't know, I was thinking youth child development. I think you have to inaugurate, man. You have to inaugurate your ambassadors. You can't do it, your team can't do it alone. You have to inaugurate. Great. You have to inaugurate your ambassadors. And I'm your ambassador in Lagos now. So give me the certificate of ambassadorial appointment. Then participation right. It talks about the right to participate. Oh, I brought 5. I'm giving 1. Children in primary school and secondary school should run their affairs. It was done. This is it. This is it. This is it in Lagos. We have started implementation. They have executive. They have executive. The chairman called them, the chairman called them, the vice chairman. They will be meeting maybe once in a week to discuss their affairs. Great. Yes. It is then they now realize they begin to discuss how Mr. Bola has maltreated them. And they have their, call it their patron, call it their business, who they report to. Please, thank God your state has instituted. Can we go? The mandate to custodians of the child. You are, I am. All teachers are custodians. That's why we call you significant adults. To this end, the act mandate parents. Nǹkan tí à ń tẹ̀ láti sọ ni pé àwa olùkọ́, àwa gan ni bàbá àti ìyá ọmọ níléèwé. Tábà tẹ̀ ṣe bàbá àti ìyá rẹ̀ ní ilé, àwa ni bàbá àti ìyá. Ní ó yẹ ká ṣe òfin ti kọ́lẹ̀ àfikún. It's in your manual. Òfin ti kọ́lẹ̀ àfikún. A gbọ́dọ̀ máa tọ́jú rẹ̀, tọ́jú wọn. For whatever reason, teachers should not abuse. For whatever reason, teachers should not abuse children under their care. If you look up to this side, the act mandate parents, guardians, institutions and authority in whose care children are placed as teachers, listen to me, to provide the necessary guidance, education, and training to enable the children live up to these responsibilities. Oh, I want to share this story. If I ask our mom here, give list 5 people. It's a food for thought, please. List 5 people that you recommend to give appointments. Give 5 people. I did it for my first daughter, and I went mad. And that changed orientation for me. He done, he finished our programs, we go on there. Otherwise, another apology. Paraventure, they asked you to bring 5 people that Buhari want to appoint. That was 2015. In fairness, but that changed orientation to that I can't even change. I was thinking I was going to be number 1. Or you say, Daddy, can I write your name twice? He wrote Professor Atiala. I'm telling you the truth. Doctor, those who thought, oh, my supervisor, he said, my supervisor. He wrote the 4th one. I said, well, like, what is happening? He said, that is why I should write 5. I said, who's going to be the influencer? Dr. W. Bishop. I said, no problem. I said, upon the money, cooperative money. I am after that change orientation today. Upon the cooperative money, I am spending. So I won't feature and say, it's my responsibility to sponsor her. It's my responsibility. Nobody is thanking anybody for sponsoring his video. I changed that. I have more pets than biological children. I have more pets than biological children. They are the one even taking care of me, I imagine. Any girls okay, that one that will call me, okay, come and do this. My child has not even called me for any girls okay. No, that's the truth. So, as you know, out of the 5, my daughter didn't remember anybody from the primary school. No, in secondary, it is university. It means you are not doing well. That's where I'm going. I'm not saying so. You are not doing well at all. When you get home today, if you have a crew, say, please, peradventure, you are giving opportunity to 5. Or your state says you should nominate 5 people. You'll be shocked. You will be shocked. I was shocked. They will mention their primary school teacher because to them they didn't do well. And they didn't do well. They did not. They maltreated them. They treated them badly. They didn't show care. That's a food for thought. When you are clocking 60, close your eyes, everybody. Close your eyes, everybody. Visualize when you clock 60, not 65 or 1. Who are those that will attend your birthday? What would they say? That's a food for thought. What would they say? Would they say, if not for you, mommy, I will not have been discovered? Would they say, if not for you from primary school, the giant remain will not have been unleashed? Would they even attend in the first instance? It's a food for thought. One thing is to expose you to rights, the rights of the children. Another thing is to do it and do it. We can learn, we can speak English for 3 hours. We can speak Yoruba for 8 hours. Are we going to implement? The children, I'm happy. This program has a second leg. If it's not running simultaneously. For the children, let them know their rights. I am sure if your child, not your child, my children will say, why? They will be asking me why. I dare not say why to my late father. Why your Lord will enjoy that? How my papa will tell you, Kilo Shelesa. Your mom was there and couldn't slap you before. But now they say, Daddy, why? I'm not going. I said, why am I not going? He said, I'm not going. You have to convince me. So you see, it is their word, and we must tolerate them, but we must guide them and let them know that it is actually your right. I told you my one. They will tell them, please give me 1 hour. It's captured in 2013 National Police. And they were shocked one day when they said that yes, that is it. She knows her right. In fact, that they say you should not be flogging us. That is against corporal policy. So it is important now. It is important children under your care. The judicial know their right. Can we go to the last slide because of our time? If you listen to this, it's a video. It's a video that went viral. Okay, let's go to their Lord. Yes, this is the epilogue. This is the epilogue. Can we read it together? 1, 2, 3. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes. Next. 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 Yes. Sorry. As a father. You are making confession before the Lord. Yes. Yeah. So help me God. That's a confession. We have all read it. You are going out of this workshop training as an advocate. Advocate of child laws or rights. Because we're in a state, child. I didn't say I brought greetings from Lagos, state of excellence. And I'm happy that Oyo State, since I'm going with first-hand experience. No, Dr. Imasofa, I don't know, Oyo State to pay. Yes, so thank you very much. And I want to appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to come and participate in your readiness to become an advocate of child labor. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Question? Yes. I'm asking.
Please, ma, we'll take questions.
Please, ma, if you don't mind, please. I know the reason why the person in Abuja is waiting, and we still have commissioner from Women Affairs. You know this technology thing. We will take everything after, and we have tomorrow. Please, so just afford so that we can take it.
Okay. Ẹ kú jókòó látàárọ̀ ẹ̀yin òbí wa. Wọ́n ti sọ fún wa gbogbo nǹkan tó ń bá wa sọ látàárọ̀ ni wípé àwọn ọmọ wa wọ́n ní àwọn ẹ̀tọ́, àwọn ẹ̀tọ́ yìí ó sì wà ní ìpele mẹ́rin. Àkọ́kọ́ ni pé wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti wà láàyè survivor. Ẹ̀tọ́ yìí túmọ̀ sí pé ohunkóhun tó lè bí ìwàláàyè wọn lọ́wọ́, àwa gẹ́gẹ́ bí òbí a gbọ́dọ̀ múra sí i kí a sì jẹ́ kí ó jẹ́ wípé wọ́n wà láàyè. Ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn nǹkan tó lè di lọ́wọ́ pa mí àìsàn, àwọn oríṣiríṣi nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ àdàbọ̀ pé tá bá ti bímọ àtìgbà tá bá ti bímọ láti kékeré wọn ti máa sọ pé ẹ̀gbọ́n wọn wá sílé ìwòsàn láti vaccinate wọn fún àwọn àìsàn báyìí àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. So wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti wà láàyè. So ìjọba, àwọn iléeṣẹ́ aládàáni àti àwọn òbí a gbọ́dọ̀ múra sí àwọn ọmọ wa láti jẹ́ kí ìwàláàyè wọn kó jẹ́ kókó. Èkejì ni wípé wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti ìdàgbàsókè wọn, development wọn. So a gbọ́dọ̀ mú ìyẹn náà ní kókó pé ìjọba yìí dàgbàsókè bí mo ṣe fẹ́. Ìkẹta ni wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti participation, láti kópa. Nǹkan tí participation yìí wá ń sọ fún wa ni wípé ìkópa wọn tá bá tiẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan ní ilé, tá ní èròǹgbà láti ṣe nǹkan ká tó decide, ká tó sọ pé nǹkan tá a máa ṣe nílé, ẹ jẹ́ ká wò ó báwo ni ó máa ṣe, ipa wo ló máa ní lára àwọn ọmọ wa, báwo ni àwọn ọmọ wa, kí ni nǹkan tí wọ́n á rí bẹ̀, kí ni èrè tiwọn náà bẹ̀. Kì í ṣe wípé káàkan bá a ṣe ká máa wò pé kò mí àwọn ọmọ yìí ò mí, ká máa fi wọ́n sílẹ̀, ká máa mú wọn dání, ká máa bẹ̀ àwọn gan náà kí ni nǹkan tí wọ́n rí sí nǹkan tí a fẹ́ ṣe, nítorí ara ẹbí wa ni wọ́n sì jẹ́ ọ̀kan pàtàkì nínú ẹbí wa, ká máa pè wọ́n dání. Ìkẹrin ni wípé wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí ìdáàbòbò, èyí tó sì jẹ́ pé ara ẹ̀ nǹkan tá a wá ṣe lónìí ó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ìdáàbòbò àwọn ọmọ yìí náà. So gbogbo nǹkan tá a bá máa ṣe a mọ̀ wípé gbogbo àwọn ipá yìí ó figagbága pẹ̀lú ààbò wọn ni. So ká make sure wípé gbogbo ẹ̀tọ́ mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin yìí bóyá ká sọ tẹ̀lé mi: ẹ̀tọ́ sí ìwàláàyè, ẹ̀tọ́ sí ìdàgbàsókè, ẹ̀tọ́ láti kópa àti ẹ̀tọ́ sí ààbò. So ká make sure wípé bá a ṣe ń ṣe lọ, ká ń ṣe lọ síwájú, àwọn nǹkan mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin yìí ká fi sí ọkàn, Ọlọ́run yóò sì ràn wá lọ́wọ́. So a tún fẹ́ continue we have in our midst ẹni pé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ wọ́n fẹ́ ràn wá lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. We have representative from the Ministry of Affairs and Social Inclusion. We have Mrs. Ilori Oladele Fumilayo, the Deputy Director, Women Program representing Honorable Commissioner for the Ministry of Women Affairs.
for this program. In fact, she loved to be here, but due to an assignment given to her, so she's attending to another program. And you can see that because she realized that this program, that the ministry has to participate, that is why we are here. And you can see that I'm not the only person. We are two in number, even with our little daughter there. I want to thank the organizer of this program. Actually, I didn't know what, I've never been to this building before. So when we got the correspondent, and we worked on the correspondent, I was saying, yeah, it's real. He said in Ashi. I knew Ashi very well, but I've never been to the building. Well, in a nutshell, I'll just read the good message of the Honorable Commissioner, and then I believe that we will all pardon the Honorable Commissioner for not here in person. Good message delivered by the Honorable Commissioner for Minister of Women Affairs and Social Inclusion, Alaja Faustat Joke Sani, at the opening ceremony of school-related gender-based violence training organized by Youth Care Development and Employment Initiative on 25th February 2021 at Rio Event Center, Ashi, Odidere. It is a pleasure to be present here in your midst at the opening ceremony of this special and crucial training of gender-based violence that occurs in the school environment organized by Youth Care Development and Empowerment Initiative. The workshop is very apt this present time, considering the rate at which different forms of gender-based violence are being perpetrated in our communities nowadays. I am optimistic that the 2 days training will create more awareness on gender-based violence GBV and its effects among the children, their teachers, parents, and other participants. It is also expected that the training will furnish the target audience with required skills of providing positive response to cases of GBV, which also include timely reports of incidents of GBV to appropriate bodies for proper handling. Gender-based violence GBV is an umbrella term for any harmful act perpetrated against a person's will. It is regarded as major public health, equally an human rights issue, which covers a spectrum of violence and abuse committed primarily, but not exclusively against women by men. It has been basically classified under rape, sexual and physical assault, psychological emotional abuse, denial of resources, opportunities of services and women, and then harmful traditional practices such as female genital mutilation, child early marriage, and forced marriage, whether occurring in public or private life. It is germane to state that different forms of GBV have become daily phenomena, which know no hate, sex, race, culture, country, or continent, and are rapidly ravaging the development and well-being of children. Unfortunately, it is observed that children from low-income families, that is, poor social and economic backgrounds, are mostly affected by these vices. Violence against children can occur in homes, families, schools, communities, and other places where children should feel safe and can range in severity from mild to severe. However, of relevance to today's matter are GBV that occur in and around schools, which are basically any act or threat of rape, physical assault, bullying, killing, slapping. We all know what is happening in schools now. We have some, don't let me just say useless teachers. They force some students, they rape them because they say they love them, and because if they refuse, if the children refuse, they say, okay, I know what to do. You will not pass my paper, and I make sure that your year is added or something like that. These are the things that happen in schools. Psychologically, emotional abuse, sexual assault, kissing. This is what some people start with our children in school. They will invite the children. They start to romance the children, in fact, personally, I've seen it. You go to school and every teacher touch where they are not supposed to. Even touch your body, just give the person. Then you call on me, then I will face the teacher. And I will make sure that the teacher is arrested and given whatever punishment that is due for him. Okay, kissing, caressing, fondling, including verbal abuse. It is disheartening that some school teachers or other staff are found as major perpetrators of PPV. In most cases, children are physically and verbally harassed by their teachers, while some teachers use corporal punishment under the pretense of discipline. Some will say, okay, because already they know that child refused to answer them of what they demand from them. They will punish, and they will not tell the people the reason of that the punishment given to the teacher. That is what we are saying here. Okay. Family harassed by the teachers. That's what teachers use corporal punishment under the pretense of discipline. But still, some children experience sexual molestation or rape by their teachers and are not to disclose the matter to anyone else. They take advantage of this to continue in the act. On the other hand, there are cases where children are abusers of themselves. What is happening in schools?
I've just seen you.
Sometimes
I was called in 132 now, and I want to know the situation with. Has she come around to see you? Okay, let me check. You are expecting her, babe?
In some situations, some children, particularly the females, experience violence from their peers in the classroom, while for others unfold on the playground on the way to and from. It has grave impact on children, both in the short and long term, depending on the type.
They said they are expecting.
It determines the health, security, and autonomy of its victim. Its negativity impacts their school performance and educationally progression, and can also result into school dropout. I want to emphasize that until school-related GBV is eradicated in and around schools, many of these I just said by the global community through the Sustainable Development Goal (SDG) to provide safe and support learning environment, to end violence against children, setting, and to achieve gender equality and eliminate violence against women's rights will not be realized. I therefore urge anyone who engages in any of these degrading and dehumanizing acts or crime to desist from such, but rather promote a healthy school living and relationship. I want to inform this gathering that Oyo State has made provision for some legal documents that prohibit all forms of violence against children, women, and persons, both in the public and private life, with stringent punitive measures therein. This is to ensure zero tolerance to GBV in the state, and that it serves as deterrent to others who may violate the laws. Some of these documents are the Child Rights Law 2006, which our daddy just mentioned, and Violence Against Women Law. Presently, Oyo State has VAW, that is Violence Against Women Law. Dear children, dear children, my advice to you is to be of good conduct, both within and outside the school environment. Desist from all acts that can mar your future career. Develop a violence-free relationship among yourselves and concentrate on your studies in order to achieve excellent performance. Do not hesitate to inform the school authority when anyone tries to abuse or violate your rights. You can as well report any case of child abuse, notice, or experience using this toll-free line. Please listen, these are the lines that you can call if you have experience of GBV. 091, the toll-free line is 091 365 47035. I repeat, 091 365 47035. There are others. In addition, ministry helplines can also be used. In our ministry, we have helplines, and you can call on us if you experience any GBV acts. You can call the ministry, we will listen to you, and we will take action immediately. So these are the lines you can call. 090 724 14083. 090 724 14083. The second one is 090 724 14084. Just the difference there is just 4 and 3. So that you can be protected. I therefore charge the school authority to put in place child protective measures and child safeguarding policies, which must be enforced. Endeavor to also create gender-responsive learning environment, inculcate the right attitude into the learners during their curricular activities, and establish safe and confidential reporting mechanisms. I declare the workshop has started before we enter. We don't need to declare it again. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before we take the next module, I'd like to call on before you sit, we have a token for the ministry. So I'd like to call on the executive director to make the presentation.
On behalf of Youth Care, Development and Empowerment Initiative, we would like to give this token of manuals, both for the children and for the stakeholders, the Ministry of Women Affairs and the Social Inclusion. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your time. Okay, I can join. You can join myself.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So the next thing we'll be going on the third module and the final module for today. And you'll be She's the Oyo State President of the International Federation of Women Lawyers. So I'll be calling on Barrister Collins to give her presentation. She will be presenting online as well. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm delighted to be on the program, and I want to salute the effort of the Youth Care Initiative. I hope I'm correct, who are giving me the opportunity to come online and to talk to us about case management when it happens, especially when it relates to school-related sexual and gender-based violence. Well, sexual SRGBV, that is school-related gender-based violence, is just one among the several gender-based violence that we have around now. At least this one is more particular to school environment. That is to say that all those activities of violence that happens within the school environment is what we know as school-related gender-based violence. So the teachers, the parents, the community leaders, education officer, and other people are supposed to be well equipped with information. We know that information is power. When we are well informed, of course, we'll be able to equip ourselves so that we know the next thing to do if such situation will happen to us. I could see from time other people had also been relating in Yoruba, so you permit me so that I can drive my points home. I can also share in English and Yoruba so that we all understand. And I hope I'm permitted.
Yes, ma, you're permitted.
All right. So why we're talking about this, I'm giving information about the case manager, how we handle the case. Because of course, it is when people get justice that their mind will be rested when issues like this happen to them. So how will they get justice? How will the perpetrators of such acts be brought to book? This is what we want to talk about. I want to share with us, with this on this module. I hope you are sharing my slides.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now I'm on slide 2. And now I'm on my second slide. I said the objective of this training, bí mo ṣe sọ earlier, ni pé ká lè ní information, we should be well informed to know if this thing happen, what are the steps that we should take, so that at the end of the day, we will get justice. 1, 2, at the end of the day, why that has happened and our right has been infringed upon, or the right of our children has been, it might happen to a teacher also in a community, in a school environment. Of course, it can happen to a teacher, it can happen to the principal, it can happen to deputy vice principal. So since it happens within a school, that is why it is called school-related gender-based violence. So at the end of this training, 1, we will have known what the right of a person that had been sexually abused in a school-related environment, what their rights are. Of course, we will have known the way we can support victims. Or, United Nations says they are not victims now, that they are survivors. Okay, whether victims or survivors, because we've seen the violence that occur that takes life of people. And if it takes the life of people, they say that is the time such a person is now a victim. But if the person is still alive to recount the story, then the person is a survivor of that ordeal. So at least by the time we finish with this module, we will have been able to know that these are ways in which we can support victims or survivors of such incidences. And we will also be able to, know where to seek help when it happens. A lot of time, in embarking as a feeder, when we want to take cases to court, we find that at the end of the day, by the time we scrutinize all the evidences, we find that a lot of such evidences have been lost before they get to court. And that is why it should be better for us to listen now, for us to know what steps we need to take when, 1, we are faced with such ordeal, when, 2, we know about such ordeal in our environment, in our schools, when it happens, after it had happened, what steps are we to take? I'm going to slide 3 now. So slide 3. And I have shared this into four parts. You know, I'll be talking about the rights of the victim shortly. I'll be talking about service provision. What are the service, provision that are meant for the victims of the SRGBV? Then, the investigations. Who does the investigation? Then, how do we refer, the victim or the survivor, like I said? So what are the rights of the victim? The rights of the victims are those rights that are enshrined in the part 4 of the Nigeria Constitution 1999 as amended. We have so many rights that are fundamental there. And one of such rights that are broken down into the part that I will be discussing with you is that right to dignity of life. That means the person that has been sexually violated, or the person that violence in one way or the other, in one form or the other, has been committed against, has dignity, to seek redress and to get justice. So I said here that, 1, the right of the victim, he has the right to seek legal redress. He has the right to say, this thing has been done to me and I need to get justice. He has the right also to be informed that probably the person that this wrong has been done against doesn't even know he has the right. So he has the right to be informed that you have rights to go to court and to get justice in this matter. And how do you get justice if judicial proceeding does not happen? So that is what I meant by to be informed about the role of the judicial proceeding, the timing and progress of such proceeding. If the case now gets to court, he has the right to know that this is the next date of hearing, this is when you should come to court. Because some people, when those things had happened to them, cases will be going on in court and they will never be informed about the fact that cases are going on. At the end of the day, cases will be going on, the judges will be asking for them, and if they don't come after some time, the cases will be struck away from the courts. So they have the right. That right is there for them to be informed and to know of the next date of hearing or the hearing notices on their cases. Then they have the right also to express their views and concern whenever that interest is at stake. Of course, a person that has been sexually violated or that a form of violence has been committed against will need to get that interest will be preserved, and because he's the highest stakeholder in that matter. Then he has a right to be properly assisted and supported through judicial proceedings. Some of these things don't happen around us, but we will get to that, why they don't happen. And of course, we are all stakeholders in this issue. We all need to come together and ask for such a right from government. A lot of time, even this part 2 judicial the rights that have been put in our constitution, many people say they are not justiciable. If they are not justiciable, why are they there? It is because even we as citizens are not really stood up to ask for such rights from the government. So please, let's go to the 4th. There are these other, I don't want to belabor us with a lot of rights, but these are another right that the person also is entitled to. I'm on slide 4 now, is the right to privacy, physical safety, right to speedy investigation and prosecution of their cases. Kí ẹjọ́ ó gbọ́dọ̀ yá kíákíá ní court, ó ní right yẹn láti béèrè fún. Wọ́n ní right fún restitution and compensation. The fact pé wọ́n wà bóyá wọ́n báyàn wọ́n violate wọ́n bá ọmọ sùn ní ọ̀nà àìtọ́, bóyá ọmọ yẹn wá lóyún, at the end of the day nítorí pa ti charge wọn sí court, ẹni yẹn dẹ̀ lówó láti lè tọ́jú ọmọ yẹn. Of course, you can, apart from the fact that pé kẹ́ni yẹn fèsì the sanction of going to prison for what he had done, the victim or the survivor also has the right to ask for compensation and restitution. Let's go to slide 5 now. Thank you. So the victim, the survivor also has the right to material, medical, and psychosocial and social assistance through government or NGO. But we know, like I said, a lot of times these things are not there because we don't ask for them. Most NGOs are the ones that stand up. Oda, ṣé kò ń ṣe double jeopardy ni nígbà tí wọ́n bá rape ọmọ tán tó tún nírú ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ mú lọ sí hospital ìyá ọmọ tàbí bàbá ọmọ tán rape tàbí tán bá ṣe kò tọ́ òun ló tún máa wá owó kàn fi máa tọ́jú ọmọ ẹ̀ lọ hospital. These are the things so yẹ kí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì kan provide ṣùgbọ́n tí kò sí níbẹ̀ that are not there. And it behooves on us, for all of us, we are all stakeholders. Baba ọmọ ni wá, ìyá ọmọ ni wá, principal ni wá, vice principal ni wá, teacher ni wá, for us to stand up and demand from these things from government. I am not so happy that the Honorable Commissioner is not even on seat, but since the Honorable Commissioner has sent somebody to represent her, I think some of these things needs to be noticed and written down, so that full report can be given, you know, in relation to some of these modules that have been given. Like on slide 5 also we say they have the right to be received by personnel properly trained and sensitized to the need of the victim. Presently, you know, a lot of reports là ń gbọ́ wọ́n rape ọmọ tán ọmọ school bóyá bí tán ti ń bá ṣe ọ̀kọ̀tọ̀ aṣọ ẹ̀yà or something gbà tó bá dé police station wọ́n ní ìwọ náà ó ṣe wá jẹ́ kí skirt ẹ̀yà dókè báyìí ọmọ tán rape nìyẹn o àbọ̀mọ tí wọ́n ti lù nílùkulù ìwọ náà ṣe wá ṣe báyìí ìwọ náà ṣe wá ṣe báyìí. That is not supposed to be. They have the right to be received by personnel that are properly trained. But what do we have today? So unfortunate. They have the right to special assistance based on their need. They also have the right, it should be a common understanding also of investigator and service provider that services to victims are provided based on their rights. Some of us as NGOs, when we represent people in court, of course, we know that it is because it is based on their right, not because we are showing empathy or we are showing courtesy or we are out of goodwill. It is their rights. And that is why I am still saying, I will keep re-emphasizing it, that all of us are stakeholders in this matter. We need to rise up and demand for this right from government. When they do it for us, they are not, it is not as if they are helping us. They are not helping us anything. It is our right. It is what they're supposed to do for us. They're supposed to be budget, you know, for some of these issues put on ground, so that when people have this issue, they can access such fund. There should be budget, you know, for all this. Our country is what it is today because we just sit down dogmatically. We don't demand for what is supposed to be ours. Can we go to slide 6, please? Okay, thank you. Okay, I think yes, they have, like I've said earlier, these are some of the rights are still, okay. I said victim of SDBV should not be charged money at any stage of investigation, but is that what we see today? Is that what is obtainable? No. You still find that what I call double jeopardy is still there. A situation whereby people will be raped, people will have been assaulted, you know, they will still be the one that will dip their hands in their pocket to get money for medical, for psychosocial, all forms. They will still be the one that will be paying that. And it's, you know, such a parent, you can imagine, you know, the level of impact that will have on the parents. Am I still on? Hello? Hello? Am I still on? Hello? Am I still there? Okay, let's go to slide 7 now. So the service provider now, in in rendering their services, what are those services that should be rendered to victims? You know, before we go, because these are the preliminaries to putting cases together, to managing cases that will really go to court. So especially cases of SRGBV. I said, these victims of SRGBV requires a holistic and coordinated response from different actors. First and foremost are the police. Police should be the first point of contact. I will tell you the reason why later. Then the medical treatment and care. They should also have access to physical safety, and then psychosocial support, and legal and justice services. Let's go to 8 now. Investigation. Stakeholders in the education industry, such as parents and teachers, need to know that the initial response to an incident of SRGBV has fundamental impact on the future recovery of the victim. Do you know that a lot of our young boys and girls, because now I say young boys, many people will say, surely rape ọmọkùnrin náà ni. We've seen a lot of cases like that. Sodomy is now on the rise. In our courts, sodomy is now on the rise. The way they do it to girls, they're also doing it to boys. So we should, as we are talking to our girls, please let's also be talking to our boys. But we've seen children that do not snap out of this. You know, once they put them, they are depressed in their mind. You know, some of these, our children probably of knowing age of 12 that are that at the age of puberty, and a lot of hormones are, you know, growing in them, and they are making resolution. I'll be this, I'll be that. I want to hold myself till I marry. I know some girls like that. And at the end of the day, this thing is taken away from them. They lapse into depression, and some of them are not able to come out of it. So for future recovery through physical of this survivor, we need our service provider, and I say our caregivers, our teachers, our parents. You know, we need to know that whatever steps we take, you know, while these issues occur, will have a reverberating impact on the future of such a survivor. It will have impact on their physical safety. It will have impact on confidentiality, even how they'll be able to relate to people. It will, on every area of their lives, it will have impact. So we really need to know how we'll undo this situation so that, you know, at least they can get reprieve, they can get remedy. Let's go to 9 now. The first point of call for, I think we are on 8 now, aren't we?
We're on 9.
On 9, okay, thank you. Yes, when a person experiences a school-related gender-based violence, the first point of call is for the person to be taken to a police station. And I say this, please, let's put it in the hands that we don't use to eat, like Yoruba will say. Sabati situation occur. The first point of call for us is to go to the police station. It is the police that will issue a medical observation or medical report template or paper, you know, and refer, you know, it will be one of them that will also, because it's part of their investigation. They will be the one that will now take such a person to the hospital. Excuse me. So, referring victim, I've said it, you know, investigations, I think that is what supposed to start first. And we have talked about investigation, the right thing to do when it happens. The next point of call is the police. Police will not take such a person to the medical center for medical attention. Then so I always used to say that even if the police is taking such a child or such a person to the medical center, it should also be accompanied by their caregiver. We have seen, I've had a case of a girl of 17 that was raped, and while she was being led to the police, to the medical center, the policeman was toasting her, and another further incident of rape occurred between her and the policeman. So we should guide against it, so that when issues like that, when it occurs, we follow up as caregivers, parents of such students, and we do the needful by following them up. So online that I'm talking about, the referring victim for medical attention. And I said that these victims should be taken to the for medical attention by the police, and they should be accompanied by their caregiver. And while this is done, that policeman and the caregiver might also, because in cases where even the abuser probably stays within the environment where the abuse stays, then such a person needs to be taken to a safe shelter. I'm on 10 now. Then, since we are talking about school-related SDBV, there must be a person, that such a victim or survivor trusts enough to tell her story to. And I'm happy that most teachers are coming up with that stance now. Students can walk up to them and tell them that I'm facing this issue, I'm facing that issue. Please, I want to encourage our teachers to be parents-like, so that, when our students or anybody within the school environment is undergoing this issue, they can always come to you to confide in you. So working with school authority, community members and school visitors like youth care program officer to make sure that they check on so it's all about the safety of the victim. Please, let's go to 11, please. Okay, in protecting the victim, I know a victim should be put in a safe shelter. If they know that the house of the parents is safe for such a victim, that should also be done. But what we are trying to drive at is that before we get to court for cases, such a person should be put in such circumstances of the environment where what had happened to her will not generate further fear that will stop him, for the arduous task of coming to court and relating what had happened to her. So a family member should also be educated in this wise. So going to 12, my 12th slide, I'm saying that we should advise victims to keep always a hand telephone number of relative, if it happens. I know that cannot happen here, but an ideal situation is that a victim should be able to have something he can quickly call the parents with. So if a victim will have the teacher phone, the parents or phone, probably while even that issue happened to her and she related her story, she will still remember, or some other things come to her memory, she needs to still say it or relate it, then she should be afforded that opportunity to relate that. And we are saying that if such a victim is even in safe homes or safe shelter, she should have that opportunity to always do that also. Please, let's quickly go to, because case management is what I am asked to talk about. So let's go to 13.
Okay, specific issue that should be considered when dealing with child victims and witnesses, because of course, such a person, the victim or the survivor, will be the witnesses in court. And you see, our children, there are ways where, let me give a very funny example. I remember I was dealing with a girl of 5 years that was raped by a man of, not in our school anyway, but I was raped by a man of 44 or 45 years. And while it happened, you know, hello?
Yes, please, sorry to disturb you. I want you to speak Yoruba and just give us the case management aspect. Yoruba, Tori and mixed multitude. So code mix, tell us practical. Yes, we have parents, we have teacher, we have Ministry of Education and Ministry of Women Affairs. Ever code mix. Thank you very much.
Nǹkan tí mo example tí mo ń try to give ni pé ó ní case kan tí mo ṣe nígbà yẹn tó jẹ́ pé ọmọ ọdún 5 tí bàbá ọmọ ọdún 44 tó bá ní àjọṣepọ̀. Tẹ́ bá dé court láti lè sọ one, irú àwọn ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tí wọn bá ti ní confidence láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ láti sọ, because àwọn náà máa jẹ́ witnesses. The fact that pé wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọdé, wọ́n ní láti sọ nǹkan tó ṣe wọ́n. Ọlọ́pàá ní láti gba statement lẹ́nu wọn. Tí wọ́n tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ tí kò lè kọ sílẹ̀ ni parents ẹ̀ á bá kọ. Ṣùgbọ́n ọmọ tó ti tó ọmọ ọdún 4, 5, wọ́n expect pé ó máa ti kọ nǹkan kan. Tóun tó bá ń sọ gan, àwọn ọlọ́pàá máa bá kọ sílẹ̀. Wọ́n bá dẹ̀ ti ń kọ sílẹ̀, wọ́n á ní kó sign tàbí kó tẹ̀ka. So ọmọ tí mò ń sọ yìí, ìgbà tá a dé court, ẹ mọ̀ pé court máa béèrè pé, especially láyé ìgbà yẹn tí àti ní child rights law ò tí máa ṣiṣẹ́. Court béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ pé, bàbá ìṣó mọ̀, ó lóun mọ̀. Kí ló ṣe fún ẹ? Ó sọ gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣe. Ó ní ó wá bá mi sùn, ó wá sùn lé mi. Ìgbà tó sùn lé, because a ní láti drive points home. Ìgbà tó wá sùn lé, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Báwo ló ṣe ṣe? You know, kí ló fi ṣe yẹn gangan was our problem. For almost 30 minutes, we were going around it, at least to bring him round to say, and she has to say it. If she doesn't say it and the court writes it down, the court cannot, court ò lè manufacture tàbí kó wá bá kọ́. Tí court bá ti kọ́, right ẹni tó ṣe yẹn gan-an àti ti infringe ẹnìyẹn. So that is why àwọn ọmọ wa, we need to build their confidence. Kì í ṣe pé kọ́ ọmọ sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí kẹjá gbé mọ́ gbẹ́nu ẹ̀ sọ̀hún. Irú ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá dérú court, àwọn ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ò kì í ní ọkàn láti lè sọ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn. Wọ́n á ti kú sára tán bá déwájú àwọn èèyàn. Ṣùgbọ́n tá bá handle àwọn ọmọ míì, tẹ́ bá rí wọn tán, wọ́n á sọ ṣàn bí nǹkan ṣe ṣẹlẹ̀. Tán bá dẹ̀ ṣe sọ, kò sí irú kóòtù bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tá gbọ́rù nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tí irú ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn sọ tí kò ní lè ṣe ẹ̀tọ́ bó ṣe yẹ kó ṣe. So going to ohun tí mò ń sọ náà ni pé a mọ̀ pé àwọn ọmọdé wọ́n wà vulnerable, that means wọ́n wà weak. Kí ọmọdé tí wọ́n lè gbé, wọ́n lè ti ọwọ́ bọ, wọ́n lè fi ọwọ́ fa ọmọ lẹ́nu, kán dẹ̀ gbé lọ síbòmí, kán dẹ̀ ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ tí wọ́n máa, nǹkan tí kò dáa, kò tọ́ tán máa ṣe fún. So I need láti build the confidence àwọn ọmọ wa, láti jẹ́ kán lè súnmọ́ wa, láti sọ nǹkan tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn. And these days, bí mo ṣe sọ, the child abuse àti all these forms of sexual gender-based violence against children, abuses against children, is very dynamic. Different ways ló fi ń wá sìn. Ara àwọn ọmọ lójú títì tán máa ná help wọn á gbé wọn sínú mọ́tò, wọn á ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ tó ń tajà ìbò síbi táwọn all these perpetrators tí wọn ti kí ń ṣe fún irú àwọn ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀. So and specific issues. Money child witness refer to a child who is invited by the police or the court to provide evidence or information in criminal proceeding, either because he or she had been a victim of abuse directly, or because, so irú àwọn ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn bóyá àwọn ni nǹkan ṣe gan ni, tàbí tó yẹ pé ọ̀rẹ́ wọn ni nǹkan ṣe. Recently, a ní case bàbá 78 years tó ń bá àwọn ọmọ 10 years tó ń bá wọn ní àjọṣepọ̀. Ọmọ ìyàwó ẹ̀ ní ọmọ first 10 years, ó ti ń bá yẹn ṣe láti bíi last year November. Ìyẹn ò sọ̀rọ̀ síta nítorí pé ẹ̀rù ń bà pé ìyá òun máa nà òun. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tọ́rẹ́ ẹ̀ wálé, tí bàbá tún bá àwọn méjèèjì ṣe, ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ ló padà lọ tó jẹ́ kán mọ̀ pé ó ń ṣe fún ọmọ tinú ilé gan pàápàá. So ohun tí mò ń sọ nípa confidence láti build the confidence àwọn ọmọ wa up because a ní dúró ní kọ́ọ̀tì láti bá wọn sọ nǹkan tó yẹ kán sọ àwọn náà ni wọ́n máa sọ ọmọ tó bá dẹ̀ ti jẹ́ pé a máa ń pa ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ lẹ́nu tí kò ní lè wá sí tó bá yá tí ẹjọ́ yẹn ò bá lọ dáadáa a ní sọ pé kóòtù ló jẹ̀bi o. So this is how we build cases up. So I say it is in the best interest of the child. Each case of child abuse might be different and presents its own challenges. Whenever the court or the law enforcement agent needs to make a decision about the child, they should consider primarily what is the best interest. So, like I said, the best interest of the child should also be considered. Kí ló máa ní dá fún ọmọ báyìí at this time? A lot of time, even in court, àwa gan a máa ń dúró níwájú court a bá rí pé ọmọ yìí ọkàn ò balẹ̀ náà. A sọ fún kóòtù pé bóyá kán seek fún adjournment káàrọ̀ ọmọ ilé balẹ̀ láti lè sọ̀rọ̀ dáadáa ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo kómìdèkómì ni pé kò sí ẹni tó máa bá rú ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ náà ló máa sọ gbogbo ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí i. So nǹkan tí mo encourage wa ọ̀sán yìí ni pé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ ká máa jágbe mọ́ wọn àwọn ọmọ ní school ni o even ní school environment kọ́ mọ́ sọ nǹkan kan nǹkan tó bá jẹ́ pé nǹkan tó sọ òtí ẹ̀ wá òkè gan pàápàá wá wé láti sọ pé nǹkan tó sọ yìí o ó fẹ́ẹ̀ dàbẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ kì í yẹ pé ká jágbe mọ́ wọn láti jẹ́ kí gbogbo ohun tó jẹ́ bí confidence wọn kó pòórá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí the 15th term. So tí gbogbo túrẹ́ǹtì tí mò ń sọ ń bí náà ni pé tí wọ́n bá máa conduct investigation tá a bá dé court nǹkan tó máa ń fà á sí most of our cases ní orí school related gender based violence kò ṣe kí n lọ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọdé wa ni pé evidences nígbà míì àti ń bàjẹ́ kó tó di parí court. And kí ni court need ni pé ó dá evidence ọmọ kékeré yìí ọmọ yìí kéré nǹkan tó ń sọ yìí show true tó nǹkan tí court á fi mọ̀ pé ó true ni nǹkan tí à ń pè ní corroboration. Àwọn evidences míì tí òun ṣe nǹkan tọ́mọ yẹn sọ fáìn ọmọ yẹn ti sọ pé wọ́n ṣe báyìí sí mi àwọn nǹkan míì tá a lè mú lára nǹkan tí kóòtù sọ lára nǹkan tó jẹ́ external tí òun ṣe nǹkan tọ́mọ yẹn sọ tá a lè mú láti fi sọ pé òótọ́ ni based on nǹkan tọ́mọ yẹn sọ nǹkan báyìí ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo slide 17. No, mo fẹ́ wo àwọn nǹkan tí mo kọ sílẹ̀ fún ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí 19 sorry please let's go to slide 19. Are you there? Slide 19 mo sọ pé evidence of a child needs corroboration by practice and that is how our case can be better managed. If you want justice from court and you want, cases to be, because kí ẹni tó ó máa ṣe case kó tó tẹ̀ sọ pé òun lè ṣe á kọ́kọ́ wò pé ṣé prima facie evidence wà ṣáwọn nǹkan kan wà tó jẹ́ ká fi lè gbé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí nídìí ní court tí ẹjọ́ ìyá fi lọ tí ọmọ ìyá dẹ̀ fi lè gba ìdájọ́ òtítọ́. And that is why by law and practice it is stated that the evidence of a child ẹ̀rí tọ́mọ máa wá jẹ́ ní court corroboration nǹkan míì ní láti wà tá a máa fi gbé ìdí tí adájọ́ fi máa gbà pé lóòótọ́ wọ́n ṣe kò tọ́ fún ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀. So ara àwọn nǹkan tí a wá máa fi ń ṣe corroboration wà tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹni tí ó ṣe kò tọ́ èyí tó ṣe dé àgọ́ ọlọ́pàá tí wọ́n fẹ́ gba ọ̀rọ̀ sílẹ̀ lẹ́nu ẹ̀ tó bá yẹ pé ẹni yẹn náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kà ó sọ pé àwòtọ́ ni ó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ tí wọn ò dẹ̀ ná tí wọn sọ pé a máa fún ẹ lówó tí wọn ṣe tó jẹ́ pé voluntarily fúnra rẹ̀ ló sọ pé àwòtọ́ mo ṣe ẹ dákun ẹ má bínú irú ìyẹn confession ni tọmọ yẹn bá ti sọ̀rọ̀ tán confession yẹn wọ́n á fi gbé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn dì pé olúwa mi ọ̀rọ̀ òótọ́ ni tàbí ká ní pé ìgbà tí ẹni yẹn ń ṣe a rí eyewitness kan tó wà ń bẹ̀ irú evidence ọmọ tí mo sọ àwọn ọmọ méjì tí mo sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sìn tí ọmọ kan bá sọ̀rọ̀ statement ọmọ kejì tóun náà sọ pé bàbá ìṣe báyìí sí wa a lè lò as corroboration ti àwọn méjèèjì a fi eléyìí corroborate eléyìí a fi eléyìí náà corroborate eléyìí but of course they need to be under oath. A máa sọ pé wọ́n máa ń wà under oath láti lè béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ yẹn pé ṣọmọ tó jẹ́ òtítọ́, ṣọmọ gbogbo ìyẹn procedure court nìyẹn. Then tó bá yẹ pé suspect wọ́n mú níbi nǹkan tó ń ṣe yẹn gangan, that's another corroboration. Tí ó bá jẹ́ pé arọ́ ọmọ yẹn as a result of nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ó wà withdrawn, ó wà depressed, ṣe understand, kò wá mingle mọ́, kò ṣe dáadáa mọ́, tádájọ́ gan rí pé ọmọ yìí nǹkan tó ṣe ló jẹ́ kó dí báyìí, it could serve also as corroboration. Ó lè serve as ẹ̀rí mi tá a máa fi gbé ẹ̀rí ọmọ yẹn ní ìdí. Then another one tá a tún máa rí ni pé àwọn èèyàn máa ń tètè ṣe ọmọ tẹ́ ẹ bá tí wọ́n ti ṣe kinní fún aṣọ ẹ̀ tó wọ̀ ẹ̀ ní tọ́jú ẹ̀, pátá tán fàya ẹ̀ ní tọ́jú ẹ̀ ní fọ́lọ́pàá, aṣọ ẹ̀ tán ya ẹ̀ ní fọ́lọ́pàá, ẹ wálẹ̀ ń wá ìgbà tí ó ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn, tàbí wọ́n á mọ ọmọ tí wọ́n ṣe kinní fún immediately wọ́n á ti lọ máa wẹ̀ ẹ́, ìgbà tán bá wẹ̀ tán wẹ ara ẹ̀ fún, wọ́n á ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa mú lọ sí police station. At the end of the day, nígbà tí wọ́n dẹ̀ tọ́lọ́pàá bá máa mú lọ sí hospital, wọ́n á rí i pé kò sí sign kankan lára ẹ̀, because medical doctor náà ṣáà ní parọ́ nǹkan tí ò rí. A ní wọ́n mọ ọmọ ẹ̀ wá o, ara ẹ̀ le o, dóun gbà tí mo wo kinní kan, ṣùgbọ́n àwa ní ṣùgbọ́n bákan nínú. So irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn náà, we need to be very very careful. Bó ṣe bọ́mọ yẹn ṣe rí títí tó fi máa dé medical hospital, ìfàtà fi dọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́pàá tá a fi lọ, tó bá yẹ kó máa enjoy ẹ̀ fún wákàtí mélòó kan, ẹ jẹ́ kó dúró bẹ́ẹ̀ kí wọ́n rí bẹ́ẹ̀ kán dẹ̀ record ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí 20. Bóyá by way of báwọn èèyàn ṣe rí tán ṣe báyìí, ẹni ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sá lọ níbi tó ti ń sá lọ, tàbí ó sá lọ gan tí wọn ò rí mú immediately, irú ìyẹn náà ó máa wà nínú evidence tí wọ́n máa kọ sílẹ̀ fọlọ́pàá, tí bóyá ọmọ yẹn ló máa sọ pé àgbà tán mú tó wá ń sá lọ, tàbí caregiver ló máa sọ. Then medical report, gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe sọ, nígbà tán bá mú lọ, bóyá wọ́n rí spam lára ọmọ yẹn ni, bóyá wọn ò rí spam, wọ́n rí pé ara ẹ̀ gé, ìdí ẹ̀ gé, ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń dà, wọ́n gbá lójú, wọ́n ṣe gbogbo àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, wọ́n á ní láti note ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ láti mọ̀ pé these are the things tí ó máa corroborate. It's very very important, corroboration of the evidences or witnesses of a particular victim or survivor. It needs to be corroborated. And if the corroboration náà ni a ti máa ní issue, because if we can't corroborate it, court ò kí ń ṣe Father Christmas tó kàn máa award judgment nítorí pa àsọ. Court is not an emotional place. A judge does not deal on sentiment. Court ó wà fún pé ẹ̀rí ni, ẹ̀rí ìkún, wọ́n dẹ̀ prove ẹ̀rí yìí dáadáa, then ló máa give judgment. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí slide 21. Yes. So, like I said, victim statement alone is not sufficient to charge case report. Pé ọmọ sọ pé wọ́n ṣe báyìí sí mi, kò wà enough láti fún adájọ́ ní pé kó sọ pé rape ọmọ. It must be corroborated. Hello?
Hello, ma. Please, ma, can you pause to conclude because of our time?
Okay, time has gone.
Yes,
So more important or náà ni pé cases incident bá ṣẹlẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí police station. Is the first place a gbọ́dọ̀ lọ, kì í ṣe pé fúnra wa ní ká mọ́ ọmọ lọ sí hospital àfi tó bá jẹ́ pé ọmọ yẹn ti wà lójú ikú. Tí a bá dẹ̀ ti mú dé police station, àwọn police issue wọn á mú lọ sí hospital. Tán bá mú lọ láti gbé case lọ sí court, there must be corroboration, because ọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ kékeré, especially tó bá jẹ́ a child, ní this school related whatever gender based happens to, wọ́n ní láti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. And then it's not, kò ń ṣe fọ́lọ́pàá láti máa béèrè pé ṣé inú darkness ló wà, ṣé ní àwọn question tó ní jẹ́ kò bá kúngbé, kò ń ṣe fún wọn láti béèrè. So all gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tá a wá ń sọ sí ni pé a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tó jẹ́ pé tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ó máa ń wà a bit difficult, because we come under section 357 of rape against ọmọdé nítorí pé section 221 ta ní tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ tí ó border on defilement tí kéèsì yẹn tí wọ́n bá ti gbé wá sí court láàrin oṣù mẹ́ta you lose the matter ni. That's why most time our prosecutor will always come to court under section 357 which borders on rape. But nísìnyí a ní child rights law and family court ti wà níbi tó jẹ́ kó máa ń charge matters tó bá jọ mọ́ even school related gender based violence that always involves children. Ibẹ̀ náà máa ń charge it. And that is why cases minor ibẹ̀ ló ń lọ family court ní own lancing, and it's also a high court. It's only same jurisdiction pẹ̀lú high court. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ tí question bá wà.
Thank you very much, Barrister Collins. Please, do we have any questions? There is no question. In the absence of question, thank you once again, Barrister Collins, for the presentation. The participants have no questions. So, in the absence of question, I wanted to ask a question the other time. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. So we'll call on our executive director to give us the closing remarks, after which we will take the national anthem.
Thank you, Barrister Collins.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much.
Basic research authority. Àwọn dájú wa àtàwọn ọmọ mi wa àwọn tíṣà wa gbogbo ẹ ṣé gan ṣe ìjókòó láti àárọ̀ àwọn kan ti dé káàgó mẹ́jọ tó lù ẹ ṣé gan o ẹ ṣé ọ̀la la máa parí gbogbo ẹ̀ kúrò dẹ̀ ṣe sọ ní ọ̀la ẹ̀ ṣókí ni ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ méjì péré la máa ṣe gbogbo ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ kò ní síbẹ̀ àbíká bá ti fẹ́ open láti pásítẹ̀ 12 o'clock a ṣe tán àmọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ kí jímọ̀ àmọ́ ṣùgbọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti wá lọ́la sàtífíkẹ́ẹ̀tì wa ẹ̀ nígbà ìyẹn ìkíní ìkejì so bí gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe rí nìyẹn ó yẹ